Hello guys, welcome back to the multimedia channel. I hope that you are having a great day. All right, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you who are already subscribed to the channel. Each day I come on and then I see that the numbers are increasing. It really means a lot to me. I can't thank you enough. Thank you. It means a lot to me. And to those of you who are yet to subscribe, please try and subscribe because it will go a long way in encouraging me to keep doing what I'm doing on the channel. All right, so today there are quite a number of updates, especially as it concerns the search for a new coach of the Super Eagles, which has almost become a daily affair. Almost every day in the news we get to see stories concerning NFF and how they continue to look for a new coach, how they keep considering whether they should bring in a foreign coach or a local coach. Yeah, so we'd have that today and a bit about that today. And then there's a story about Samson Siasia, of course, which has been making the rounds. And then a bit about Oliseh and Eze, who play for Crystal Palace. And then, yeah, quite a number of updates, Mikel Obi and the rest of them. Yeah, but before I go into that, I want to talk about the Premier League. I want to talk about yesterday night. I want to talk about the fact that Chelsea had, I don't know, I'm looking for the right words to use. Chelsea had, one of the worst nights of the season. Yeah, for them. So it was, of course, the EPL clash between the club and Arsenal. That game ended 5-0. Chelsea couldn't even get a goal, and it's so shameful. It's so shameful. It's one experience that would continue to trouble them, of course, even though most of the times players just try to put aside the previous match and look forward to the next match. But that of yesterday was something else, not even a goal. I keep wondering why it's so easy. It's easier for Chelsea to play Man City than it is for them to play Arsenal. Yeah, 5-0, come on, that was something else. And currently there are reports that Chelsea, of course I know that it didn't start from the game of yesterday, they are considering really letting Pochettino go. I'm just wondering who they want to bring in this time. But then I keep questioning, is it really a question of the lack of a coach that has the capacity to lead the team, or it's a question of the players not showing commitment themselves? And one thing I've always said is that Arsenal does not have the best quality of players. They do not have the most expensive players. But one thing that has really stood them out over the season so far is the fact that these players are committed to the goal. They have a vision. They know what they are pursuing. But some other clubs, sometimes they just get distracted and then the players are just relaxed. They're not putting in effort. So far, Chelsea has conceded a total of 57 goals. Yeah, but Arsenal, they keep scoring. They have over 80 goals so far scored this season. Arsenal has been impressive. I don't know why I love this club. Such an interesting club. A club that you can't really watch. You can't help but to watch. They play entertaining football, but in addition to that, they also score. They have players who are committed. They know what they want exactly. Yeah, so kudos to the players. Kudos to Mikel Arteta. He's had enough time to really work with these players. And I feel like beyond the performance, there's this bond that exists between he and the players, even off the field. And that's one thing that is really helping the club to really grow. So yeah, it was a disappointing night, like I said earlier, for Chelsea yesterday in the EPL. And I don't know. But then one thing that game taught me as I was watching is the fact that it is really dangerous for any team to build itself around a player. In that game it was obvious that Cole Palmer was not in the field. And that's the dangers. Like I said, Chelsea has sort of tried to build the team around Cole Palmer. So it now looks like whenever he's not in the field, every other player lacks an idea of how to play, how to score. But whenever he's in there, he knows how to coordinate. He knows the back of the net, so to say. So far, he has 20 goals. So out of a total of 61 goals that Chelsea has scored this season, he alone has scored 20 goals. So it shows you how important he is to this Chelsea side. He has also provided many assists for the club. But then I mean, that is one thing that stands Arsenal out. If you check the goal scorers for the season, you discover that Arsenal alone has, I think, about 3 players: Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, and then Trossard. I think Saka is on 14, Havertz is on 11, and then Trossard is on 10 or thereabout. I'm not certain about that. Yeah, but that's like one of the differences that we could see from Arsenal and other teams. They have successfully not built the team around a player, so you can't really say the club completely depends on Saka, though at some point it was appearing as though that was the situation. But I mean, so far we can't say that they depend on one player. If Saka is not available, you have Gabriel Martinelli, you have Gabriel Jesus, you have Havertz. I mean, you can, though of course sometimes Havertz really messes up, and then you have players, you have fans really hurling insults at him and all of that. But the fact is that from their midfield, from Declan Rice, I mean, he's been superb the entire season. And then of course, many of the players, is it the defense that personally I feel are one of the best central defenders in the whole of Europe, and as a matter of fact in the entire world. I mean, those people are unbreakable. Though of course we've seen some of their loopholes, but the fact is that they understand themselves. And I think another thing that has really helped Arsenal so far is the fact that the coach has really been consistent. So you could tell that these are the people who would feature in a game. So he's been consistent when it comes to his lineup. That's one thing that many other clubs have really lacked all through the season. Of course, a particular example is Manchester United that suffered injuries, so that is quite understandable. And then so kudos to Arsenal for dealing with Chelsea. I just hope that they would really lift the EPL, because of course they are out of the Champions League, so it allows them to sort of fully concentrate on the Premier League. But that would also of course depend on what Man City plays, because Arsenal currently are two games ahead. So if Man City are able to win their 2 games, they climb top of the league again with 2 points over Arsenal and then Liverpool. Yeah, but overall Arsenal has been impressive all through the season. The players have been impressive, the coach has been impressive. Yeah, so I'm really wishing them well as always. Yeah, so moving forward, so let's talk about the discussion for today, and I will be beginning from so something I forgot is the fact that Thomas Tuchel is currently being considered as a perfect replacement for Ten Hag. Yeah, so Manchester United is really looking at bringing Thomas Tuchel to the club. Of course, we recall how Tuchel actually led Chelsea to a Champions League victory in 2021. And then one thing that many people have really continued to question is why exactly Chelsea let Thomas Tuchel go. And since then, I don't think the club has recovered. I mean, personally, I feel like the club has continued to regret that action. I don't know what you think, but Tuchel was a fantastic coach. He was a really fantastic coach. I don't know. I don't know how serious the management at Manchester United are about bringing him in, and I strongly believe that he would do well. I mean, but of course, he would need some new players. He would need some new faces to come into the club. And I just hope that if he finally comes, the club management will really give him the free hand he needs, because usually that's part of the problem when the management of a club fail to sort of allow a coach to make decisions. It really impacts, because of course the coach begins to feel like, come on, I'm not in charge, so why did you bring me in the first place? Yeah, so I just hope that wouldn't be the case for Tuchel when he finally arrives at Manchester United. Yeah, so, and just to say, United are already in the finals of the Emirates FA Cup. Congratulations to them, even though that game was below impressive for me. I mean, how would you go from leading 3-0 in 70 minutes to letting this championship side come back, score you 3? They even made it 4, if not for VAR that ruled the goal out as an offside. So they would have won 4-3, and that would have really been devastating is not the word. That would have been shameful as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, but all thanks to the players who scored their goals in the penalty. Yeah, so they will play Man City in the finals of the Emirates Cup, and I don't know, the players really need to improve, because if they don't, Man City will beat them black and blue. Yeah, so very quickly, let's move on to what we have as it concerns the Super Eagles today. And like I said, I would begin with Samson Siasia, of course, a former player and coach, a former player of the Super Eagles, and of course a coach of the side as well. So he has expressed concerns over what he described as a significant gap between foreign coaches and Nigerian coaches. So he spoke about the fact that oftentimes there's this disparity in the amount of money paid to foreign coaches and Nigerian coaches. And then he continues to wonder why should there be disparity? If you're bringing in a local coach to be in charge of the Super Eagles, for instance, it is the same rule, responsibility he would play if you're bringing in a foreign coach. So why would you pay a local coach maybe $50,000, for instance, per month as salary, and then you bring in a foreign coach and you're paying him $80,000 to $100,000? I mean, he's not really happy with that disparity, and I know that he sort of represents the thoughts of many Nigerians who keep wondering why this whole disparity between local and foreign coaches. Yeah, so he spoke about the NFF's apparent bias against indigenous coaches. Of course, we know that part of reasons why there has been delay in the appointment of a new coach for the Super Eagles is the fact that I don't know, it appears as though the NFF is torn apart. So you have some people who are saying, okay, local coach can do the job, and then you have a crop of people who are saying, no, we need a foreign coach because he would command respect from the players. So Samson Siasia says, I mean, Nigeria has the right individuals with the right capacity, the competence to lead the Super Eagles. Why this question about a foreign coach always? So he further accused the NFF of failing to help him when FIFA were actually investigating him over alleged involvement in match fixing. That goes back to 2019, of course. We recall how he was handed a life ban from all football-related activities. Thankfully, it was reduced to 5 years because of the allegations of match fixing. So he has now come out to say that the NFF never offered him a helping hand all through that period he was going through that challenge. So he also revealed how he had to borrow money to actually foot his lawyer's charges when he wanted to appeal the case. So he says he's not really happy with the kind of treatment he got from the NFF. But of course, there are reports that the ban would finish in no distant time. I think sometime this year. Yeah, so we are wishing him well. I mean, it's not easy to have that kind of ban. 5 years is not 5 days. I mean, it would have really taken a lot out of him. So if there were plans he had for himself, that would have really sort of affected him. Now, so moving forward, Victor Boniface actually took to his Instagram and Twitter accounts to share stunning pictures of himself and Chidera Ejuke. Ejuke is, of course, another player of the Super Eagles who hasn't really had the opportunity to feature that much. So he shared the stunning pictures of both of them on their cars, very fine cars, and with the caption, "Reality is wrong, dreams are for real." So I mean, Victor Boniface is one player who has been in the news for the right reasons, from winning the German Bundesliga with Bayern Leverkusen to becoming, of course, the only team that remains unbeaten across 44 games in the whole of Europe. So great guy. And I think one thing I so love about him is the fact that he doesn't take life too seriously. So one of those who reacted to his post on Instagram actually said, I'm trying to remember what the person said exactly, said, why not give us a caption where make sense. So that kind of person, if you're expecting anything too serious, you're wasting your time. And I mean, personally, like I said, that is why I love him so much. You're not supposed to take life too seriously. I mean, he has the money, and then he understands what really life is. You make good friends, you play, but of course with a huge sense of responsibility, and I know he has that also. So I wish him well. I mean, wish he and his side well, and Ejuke as well. Fantastic player. I just hope that he would have enough time to really play for the Super Eagles. Now, so moving forward, of course, there are reports that the technical committee of the NFF has recommended that a foreign coach be appointed for the Super Eagles. I mean, this is one subject that it has almost become a daily affair, and I keep wondering, when exactly do they want to announce? So at some point we heard it was Emmanuel Amunike who was going to likely emerge as the coach of the Super Eagles, and now we are hearing that they are recommending a foreign coach as well again. So I don't know exactly what the NFF really wants, but like I said, I know that part of the problem is that politics is always there when we get to this kind of stage. But I mean, they shouldn't allow politics get in the way. I keep singing this thing like a national anthem. We have local coaches who can do the job perfectly well. They just need the cooperation, the same kind of cooperation that you would give to a foreign coach, give it to a local coach, and I bet he would do well. He would do marvelously well. I mean, some videos that I have posted in the past, I've had some people say in the comment section that part of the problem why local coaches are often not considered for the role is because of the fact that they are easily corrupt. And then my personal opinion is corruption is a personal decision. So if a local coach can be corrupt, a foreign coach can be corrupt as well. The fact that you probably get to read stories about local coaches who collect money doesn't mean that you don't have foreign coaches who go behind the scenes and collect money as well. Yeah, so I feel like, I mean, local coaches should be given a chance, and the player should understand that regardless of who is there, provided the person has the capacity and the character, that he deserves every support he needs. Yeah, so if it's not a foreign coach, you as a player who has spent years abroad shouldn't begin to really feel that sense of pride that you can talk to them anyhow you want. No, it doesn't make sense. You're not getting the best out of the individual by really acting in that way. So moving forward, Mikel Oliseh and birithday, of course, these two guys have at one point or the other been invited by the Super Eagles to be part of the team. I just keep wondering what is really delaying that process. Yeah, so the two of them have been named in the Premier League Team of the Week after their outstanding displays for Crystal Palace in their 5-2 win over West Ham on Sunday. That's in the Premier League. And as far as I'm concerned, I've often said this, Oliseh and Eze are two of the most underrated players in the Premier League. I don't know if it's because of the club they play for, Crystal Palace. I don't know if that's why, but these are two very fantastic players. And of course, there are reports that Manchester United is really considering a move for Oliseh. I just hope that would work. He's such a fantastic player, and Ebere is a very creative, strong. He has it up there. He knows how to play football. Yes, I just hope two of them will get better teams. Yeah, so that people can really begin to see the what they have and what they can really offer in the field. Yeah, so they made it to the Premier League Team of the Week, courtesy of their performance in that game. And just to say that two of them got goals in the game. Yeah, so congratulations to them. I wish them well. So moving forward, Ola Aina, Super Eagles defender, could be on his way to West Ham after his contract expires in the summer, and then he becomes a free agent. Ola Aina has, I don't know, at Nottingham Forest, of course, he has been featuring in their games, and I think maybe it's time for him to maybe try somewhere else, because we haven't really heard much about him and his performance. But I mean, I watch their games, I see him perform. Sometimes he makes mistakes which are normal, but most of the times, of course, he's at the top of his game. Of course, we recall his performance in the AFCON tournament. He's such a wonderful defender. I wish him well. I mean, I just pray that that West Ham would really get him, so he can further show the world what he has got as a player. Moving forward, Mikel Obi on Monday, that's April 22nd, celebrated his 37th birthday. Great player, good midfielder. We recall his performance, of course, while he was still playing for the Super Eagles, and of course while he was at Chelsea. He was such a wonderful midfielder, one of the best creatives that we've had so far, as far as I'm concerned. Very strong. Yeah, so FIFA, the World Football Governing Body, and the player's family and Chelsea as well actually shared pictures of the player, pictures of the moments he shared while he was playing. And then of course his family, there was this picture of he and his daughters, his two daughters, celebrating with the cake. Yeah, so happy birthday to the great midfielder. I mean, and since retiring, Mikel has been involved. He hasn't really left football entirely, so he has been involved in one way or the other in football commentary. And of course, he was in Switzerland during the Champions League draw, and he's really doing pretty well. I mean, he speaks fluently, he speaks good English, and I mean, I want to believe that he's considering that as a new career path already. So he's really doing well. I mean, if you hear him speak, you'd really want to keep listening to him speak, as a matter of fact. So this is me wishing him a happy birthday celebration, many more years of success, many more years of good health. And yeah, so as always, just share your thoughts on the comment section. What do you think about Arsenal's performance all through the season so far? What do you think about this whole delay in appointing a new coach for the Super Eagles? The NFF technical committee now recommending a foreign coach, and the likes of Samson Siasia coming out to say no, a local coach can do the job. I mean, he of course keeps wondering why there's this disparity between local and foreign coaches and all of that. Also share your thoughts on Victor Boniface, of course, and the picture he shared on social media of himself and Chidera Educate. Yeah, so just share your thoughts on the comment section. Thank you very much for watching. As always, bye for now.